Every week, the loudest voices try to drown out the truth.
But we're turning the volume back up
From hidden agendas
to expose lies.
to the wins that remind us that America still has fight.
And yes, we're diving into the conspiracy theories too, the ones people whisper about until they turn out to be true.
Two hosts, unfiltered opinions.
One podcast.
This is The Right Approach.
I remembered how to say conspiracy theories.
I know, I'm so proud of you. That was awesome. And that music still is amazing. I know we didn't have it with us, but I can imagine it. I'm sure it's
playing
fantastic.
In our heads.
It is. I'm just going, The Right Approach! Every single, like, I've been doing that way too much. It's like a new stim. I think I might just be autistic.
I think we knew that.
Okay,
That's
thanks.
known information.
Anyway, we got some new equipment. I'm super happy. We're in a new place. We're in a new place. We've got some pretty bright lights to lighten our faces up. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully we'll get that camera working. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I broke the camera.
Okay. Well, you didn't break the camera. Someone else broke the camera.
Yeah, but by default.
Camera's broken.
Camera's broken.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we've got quite the interesting week. We're going to be doing pretty much the same segments we've been doing so far. Conservative win of the week. We got some Tennessee Congressional District 7 Republican voted in, which is pretty interesting. We'll get into why. Conspiracy theory of the week, buying bunkers in the Ozarks. That's interesting.
Did you read it?
I did not.
I'm so excited.
I know,
I love it when you don't read things.
I'm really excited for that one. Media madness. We're talking about the Somali outrage in Minnesota. That'll be quite interesting. I'm pretty knowledgeable on that topic. And then for our main topic, Hurricane Helene scandal. You have a lot of opinions on
I
that
have
one.
some opinions.
Because you lived through it.
I did. I lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
So for conservative win of the week, Tennessee 7th District, which I will put here.
Somewhere.
It is west of Nashville plus metropolitan Nashville. So you have kind of like the outskirts of Nashville on the eastern side that are not part of District 7. It's District 6.
Mm-hmm.
It was previously held by a Republican, so it stayed red, thank God,
Yep.
because it's Nashville. It tends to randomly turn blue. But Democrats are creeping closer. The question isn't just did we win, but how long can we keep it?
That is interesting. That is definitely something we need to be wary of. How long do you think can we keep it?
Oh, listen to the stats.
I don't know.
In the special election held December 2nd, 2025, Matt Van Apps, a Republican, won the open seat, defeating the Democratic challenger by only 9 points.
Wow.
53.9 to 45.1%.
That was a little close for comfort, but hey, we got it.
We did get it. The seat had been held by GOP member Mark Green before his resignation. So this win maintained a hold, preventing a potential Democratic flip. The margin of victory was much narrower than GOP wins in this district. Historically, the district had been won by 20 to 22 points.
Good Lord.
This time, it was roughly 9. Democrats, even in a deep red state, significantly improved their performance, which some analysts interpret as a sign of shifting voter sentiment or at least a warning flag for Republicans. The results suggested that while Republicans held the line, the underlying dynamics may be changing. Higher Democratic turnout in certain counties, rising suburban adjacent dissatisfaction, and demographic change, all of which could make future elections even tighter.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, where do you think this demographic change is coming from?
The fact that all these people are moving to Tennessee.
From where? Like
everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's
New
like
York,
the Great Migration.
California. It's like
Texas?
de-westernization.
Yeah, they're coming back. And
Easternization.
I made a joke to some of the political figures that I know, and I was like, can we just put up a sign on the interstate instead of it saying welcome to Tennessee? Go away. Stay
Go
away.
away, we don't want you here. This is terrible. The only reason that I knew about this was because President Trump posted on X calling for all Republicans to vote for the Republican nominee. And I mean, it seemingly worked. So, hey, who knew that all it took to win a congressional race. This was a congressional race, right? I'm not called.
Yes.
Yes. Congressional race is just to post about it on X. So I'll keep that in mind for when I run.
When we run.
When we run. Don't worry. We'll get into office one day.
Okay.
Maybe. That'd be pretty
So
interesting.
I'm going to get into the buying bunkers in the Ozarks situation.
Conspiracy theory time.
This,
love
I
conspiracy
am
theories.
extremely passionate and knowledgeable on this.
You're passionate about
I am
buying
passionate.
bunkers in the Ozarks?
I'm passionate about why.
Oh, okay.
So this theory says that wealthy elites, tech billionaires, defense contractors, and government insiders are secretly buying land across the Ozark Mountains, which is, if you need clarification, Missouri, Arkansas, the Oklahoma line, and even parts of East Tennessee, to build deep underground bunkers, self-sustaining compounds, hidden airstrips,
Oh,
and doomsday shelters, and preparation for a coming event.
could this be the end of the world? Finally?
I have a theory.
Okay. Let's hear
But
it.
why the Ozarks? High elevation, hard bedrock, sparse population, fresh water. It's the Ozarks. It's kind of like the Florida Everglades, but like in the mountains. And it's easy to hide.
Yeah, good reasons.
Zillow records show anonymous LLCs buying huge pieces of rural land. Reports of private helipads, dear Lord, and airstrips are suddenly popping up. There's a trend of billionaires buying private bunkers. There are several private bunker building companies reporting rising orders in the Ozarks. Wealthy people are buying land in the Ozarks. And rural property values have jumped 20 to almost 40% in some counties since 2020.
That's pretty crazy.
Locals report 200 to 1,500 acre tracts purchased in cash through Delaware, Wyoming, or Nevada LLCs, no listed managers, and no disclosed purpose.
Now, personally, if I were a billionaire trying to hide my tracks, I put everything under anonymous sources, under random LLCs, that I just pulled out of my ass pretty much. I'm not trying to let anyone know what I'm doing. So this is pretty sketchy, to say the least.
So people are kind of talking about who these people could be. Some claims are tech investors relocating from California, former DoD contractors, defense industry CEOs, crypto billionaires diversifying assets, a former CIA-connected private security consultant, anonymous but frequently mentioned,
Okay.
real estate arms of two major hedge funds.
Ooh.
None of these match official land records because they're hiding behind LLCs. But the patterns match elite behavior seen in places like Jackson, Wyoming, Whitefish, Montana, and New Zealand.
New Zealand?
New Zealand.
That's interesting.
But now the Ozarks are the new hotspot because they're more discreet. Tunneling companies have been contracted.
Like
Tunneling.
Like Elon's tunneling company? Like his tunnel bore? Like
Not
that?
his, but like...
Well, not his, but
yes,
something
right
like
idea.
that. Yeah.
Construction workers have posted anonymously about 24/7 excavation, imported reinforced steel, deep shafts, multi-level bunkering, ventilation systems, and blast-rated doors.
What are they preparing for?
Oh, just wait. Night shifts only. People living near the project say loud digging happens between midnight and 4 a.m. This is common in secure military contracting, which is another huge red flag. And they're using heavy military-grade materials. Local suppliers have noted bulk purchases of ballistic concrete, steel blast doors, EMP-resistant wiring, industrial generators, and water purification systems.
This just sounds like the military at this point. Who are these people?
These are not residential material orders. Locals also report seeing unmarked black helicopters, small fixed-wing aircrafts with no tail numbers. A little bit suspicious if you ask me.
You're not supposed to do that as a regular civilian.
And cargo deliveries by night. I want to interview one of those pilots. A few are registered to LLCs that also purchase land. This implies rapid evacuation capability, something that elites always plan for. Confirmed. Wealthy people are buying rural Ozark land fast. Bunker companies are actually building there. Anonymous LLCs are hiding purchases. Private airstrips are increasing. Construction workers have reported underground projects, and property values are rising due to out-of-state cash buyers. But what's the conspiracy part? The speculation is that elites know a secret timeline that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
The government insiders are involved. Coordinated bunkers form a network, and that the Ozarks were chosen by a classified study.
Wow. Okay. I mean, personally, maybe there's a chance that this is just the military doing their secret things in their secret ways, trying to build, like, I don't know, nuclear missile silos. Who knows? Possibly. Maybe.
They wouldn't do it in the Ozarks, though.
You think?
No.
I don't know. It's pretty discreet to me.
Like, why wouldn't you just do it in the middle of Oklahoma?
Well, they're diversifying their assets. But maybe billionaires are preparing for the worst, and at a very rapid rate. Maybe it's time for you to buy some land in the Ozarks, just for the hell of it, you know, just to add to the conspiracy.
I've been to the Ozarks.
Do you have land there?
No, sadly not.
I think you should buy some land there.
I think I should.
And also some reinforced concrete and steel blast doors and EMP-resistant wiring, and for no specific reason at all. I think that'd be
I
pretty
think it's defense industry CEOs and DoD contractors. Like, these people know something we don't about a rising conflict that we
haven't heard about yet.
Yeah.
Or maybe
CIA
we have, and it's just getting worse, and we just don't know about it. Maybe the Russia-Ukraine war has gone ballistic, and
we have no idea.
Who knows? Maybe it's nuclear, and we'll never know. Moving on to our media badness. We're talking about, first we had a Muslim invasion, week 1, episode 1.
We did.
We did. Week 2, covered that again, just briefly, talked about it, updates on it. Now, there's a Somali invasion. It just seems to me like there's a lot of illegals in this country.
Can't they just go back where they came from?
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I don't want anyone who shouldn't be here to be here at all. They should be gone. Don't really care what your situation is. You know, if you have kids, if you don't, get them all out. You don't need to be
Go away.
here. You're causing problems, and it's making my life harder. But it keeps me in this job, so, you know, I get that part. But not the point, not the point. Anyway, what's the problem with Somalia? Let's talk about that first. What is Somalia?
It's a third world country.
It is a third world country. It is very much a third world country. It is actually one of the poorest countries in the entire world. It is a very high traffic area for crime, drug operations, and sexual abuse.
Ooh, sex traffickers.
Oh yeah, lots of those. And it is just not a fun place to be.
I would not want to go there on a vacation.
It is such a poor economy. I couldn't even really find statistics on it. I can't really give you numbers because people don't take numbers on it. Its GDP is about 20 to 60K.
Oh.
That's it. Its yearly GDP is 20 to 60K. So what's been going on? Somali immigrants in Minnesota, according to the Department of Homeland Security, Minnesota is home to the largest number of Somali immigrants in the United States. Beginning in 2007, more than 20 Somali Americans left Minnesota in order to train and fight for Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Al-Shabaab is a terror organization and a child terror organization of Al-Qaeda.
I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither. Not me neither, personally. So there are 80,000 Somali people in, I believe it's either all of Minnesota or in the entire U.S. Okay, yes, it is 80,000 in Minnesota. There's about 260,000 in the entire U.S. And 80,000 of them live in just Minnesota, and about 70% to 90% live in one town, Twin Cities. So according to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, partnered with the FBI and ICE, nearly half of all immigrants in the Minneapolis-St. Paul Twin Cities were found to have committed some form of immigration fraud during a recent sweep by authorities with the Department of Homeland Security. Officials revealed Tuesday. We've started with 1,000 targets. We didn't know what we were going to find, and we found fraud in every type of immigration benefits that we offer. And that was by Joseph Edlow. He's the head of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. 50%, yes, you heard me right, half of all immigrants in just one city were found to have committed fraud. They had committed fraud and should not be in this country. This is why we need ICE people. This is why I will go and sign up for ICE right now. I'd be more than happy to. ICE is great.
I'd pay to see that.
You'd pay to see me join ICE? Mm-hmm. Sure, I mean, if you're paying me, I might as well. I don't even understand at this point why there are protests against ICE because of this stuff. Like, they're not just going after Mexicans. I mean, there's a lot of Mexicans in this country, so yeah, they're going after a lot of them. But they're going after third world country immigrants who are here illegally, causing problems. And some of these people are even going as far as saying that they hate America so much that they're going back to Somalia and joining a terror organization.
I feel like I'm definitely not majoring in Homeland Security and intelligence or anything.
Definitely not.
But, when people say that they're joining.
That they're joining, so we got from and joining.
But when people say they're joining terror organizations, I feel like that should be a sign to, I don't know, the NSA, the DHS,
to do something.
the CIA.
Yeah.
We got 18 organizations. Pick one and then send them away.
Yep. Well, I have very good news for you. We're doing something about it.
Yay! For once!
And we'll get there.
Oh no.
But it's pretty interesting that the city's government representative is Somalian. Did you know that?
Like
Ilman Omar.
She's
Somalian.
down the line Somalian or
Oh, no. Born in Somalia.
Isn't that illegal? We need to fix our laws. If you weren't born in America, I don't think you should be able to run.
She is American. I do actually agree with that. If you're not born in America, if you are not first generation American, no, you shouldn't be able to run our government. It's not right. Doesn't make any sense. Because conflict of interest. Doesn't make any sense. Omar, I don't like Omar. She's kind of stupid. She's not the brightest bulb. She's definitely got something in her heart for Somalia still. And it shows. And it's not good. It's just not a good thing. And it makes you think, doesn't it? Makes you think, maybe Omar isn't all that she says. Maybe they have already taken over the city. I certainly wouldn't be surprised if they already have. But on top of all this, there is a bigger fraud and possible governor connections going on.
Oh, Tim Waltz.
we love you and we hate you.
That man, I just think he should retire.
He's a little old. I think a lot of old people need to retire from government. Too many old people, personally, I say.
Kick them away.
Get this, ready? 1 billion taxpayer dollars.
Oh.
Billion with a B, that's bravo. Discovered being funneled to Somalia to the terror organization Al-Shabaab, again, part of Al-Qaeda. It is unknown who is in charge of that money. But when whistleblowers called it out, what did Tim Walz do? He punished the whistleblowers. He shut them down. He silenced them instead of looking into this. Why? Well, I don't know. You tell me. Why is the governor of this city...
The city, you mean it's the state?
Of the state, thank you. Why is the governor of the state trying to cover up $1 billion worth of taxpayer dollars, that's yours and mine money, going to some Somali terror organization?
Probably because he did it.
No. Really?
Crooked
My
government.
God. Crooked Hillary. It's all over again. I blame Hillary for this, honestly.
I blame Hillary.
She
for
started
all
it.
things.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So is he connected to all this? Why is he defending $1 billion worth of taxpayer dollars going overseas to support a terror organization?
Probably is.
Probably connected. Who knows? But this is brand new news as of yesterday, 2 days ago, so we don't really know a lot. I did want to show you this quick video of Joseph Edlow talking about what he was talking about.
Area, and we started with 1,000 targets, didn't know what we were going to find. We found fraud in every type of immigration benefits that we offer, and I'm so happy to see where this is taking us. And this is just, as you said, the first step. This is phase one, going out in these twin cities, getting some information, going back. We're going to be reopening cases. We're going to be working to denaturalize people. We're going to be working to deny benefits, get people removed. And ultimately, I'm working with the U.S. Attorney. We're going to get prosecutions here.
Joseph.
That's Mr. Edlow on that quote that I mentioned earlier. Pretty cool. And on Governor Tim Walz, state governor, not city governor, state governor. Caroline Leavitt.
I love her.
Oh my God, I
love
that woman so much. And she's also a mother, which is pretty cool. If you follow her on Instagram, she posts about her kid a lot.
Oh.
Super cute kid. She is the White House press secretary. She spoke on all of this during a press briefing on December 1st, which was 3 days ago now, about the different forms of fraud and just how horrible it is. Here's just a clip from the briefing.
Refugees who come here under the alleged plight of asylum and fleeing persecution, and then come to the United States to abuse our system and rip off American taxpayers. And as I pointed out, the New York Times, to their credit, it was about 6 months too late, but they did write about how Somali immigrants in Minnesota have been ripping off American taxpayers. In fact, 86 people have been charged in a rampant and widespread fraud scheme spanning multiple programs in Minnesota. Of those 86, 78 of those people are Somali, 91% of them charged. So far, 59 of those people have been convicted for their roles in fraud plots that have stolen $1 billion from taxpayers. In one scheme, and this is egregious, a nonprofit and its affiliates with these Somali migrants claimed to have fed tens of thousands of American children during the pandemic. They were reimbursed for those meals by taxpayers. However, federal prosecutors found that almost all of those meals were never even delivered to hungry children. In fact, those organizations' leaders spent the money on houses, luxury cars, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya. Another scheme involved hundreds of organizations who were reimbursed for services that were supposed to help people at risk of homelessness. Once again, those services were never provided. All of this has happened under Democrat leadership in a Democrat-run state, where these refugees, these migrants are coming to the United States. They are abusing our system. They are draining our resources that should be going to law-abiding, taxpayer-funded, tax-paying Americans. And this president is not going to put up with it anymore.
Isn't that insane?
That's where the wild.
Tens of thousands of kids were claimed to have been fed during the pandemic, during COVID, and they never did. And they just took this money, used it for themselves because they could. And why not? Buy land in Kenya. I don't know what's in Kenya. Why you'd want to go there, but who knows?
Kind of pretty.
Is it? Never been. Don't really care to go. Maybe I will one day. Who knows? Buying fancy cars. Yeah, understandable. But not in this way. No. Not like this. You're a bad person if you do that. You're a terrible person. You're
Get
just
a job and buy a fancy.
You're just a piece of shit if you do that. get a job. So what is Trump doing about all this? I'll tell you.
Hopefully.
Oh, he's doing something. First of all, Trump has openly said, and I quote, "I don't want them in our country." And he's not talking about all Somalis, the millions of people who have come into this country, not just Somali, legally and lived happily without complaints. No. He's talking about the people who have come into this country, received aid and benefits from us, and done nothing but bitch and moan about how much they hate this country. And I completely agree with that. And his words have been twisted by the media, of course. That President Trump hates all Somalis. President Trump hates all immigrants. God forbid. Oh, what a world. The humanity.
Oh no.
But no. He just hates the illegal ones. And so do I. I agree with him. Well, I have news for you. We have, to the people who hate this country so much, I have news. We have this wonderful, amazing program brought to you by President Donald J. Trump himself called self-deportation. Get the hell out of Dodge. We don't want you here. Get on that plane, strap on your seatbelt, and get out. All on your own benefit. It's great. It's a great program. How kind of him. So Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey disagrees with Trump, saying, quote, "He is wrong. We do want them here," talking about all Somalis, thinking that Trump was talking about all Somalis when he wasn't. He said, "Somali people have been an extraordinary benefit to our city." Really? Prove it. Show me. Show me the stats. Show me exactly what the illegal Somali immigrants have done for your city, have done for our country. Tell me what they've done. What have they done that is so extraordinary? Come on. So according to an article from the BBC, officials in Minnesota have condemned the reported plan for an immigration enforcement operation, arguing it could unfairly sweep up American citizens who may appear to be from the East African nation. And I don't think they know how ICE operates.
I don't think they do either.
Okay. It seems to me like these people think ICE looks at someone, profiles them, says, "I don't really like you because you looked at me funny," and they get deported. Yeah, that seems right.
You looked at me weird.
You looked at me funny. I don't like the way you're looking at me, sir. You got a weird little smirk on your face. So you're getting deported. But no, that is in fact not how ICE works. They're not just going to do that. Like the 50% of immigrants that were found to have committed immigration fraud, those are the people that are going to be swept up. And ICE is going to do background checks. They're going to take a look into these people. Like Mr. Edlow stated, they do these checks. They had 1,000+ targets of people that they were going after specifically. And then those targets lead to more targets. And, fraud happens. And then you get deported for fraud because fraud is illegal. And you are illegal. So last month, Trump said he planned to end the temporary protected status, a program for immigrants from countries in crisis, for Somali residents living in Minnesota. A few hundred immigrants would be affected by that order. TPS for Somalis has existed since 1991, resulting from conflict in the nation, by the way. And earlier this week, Trump's Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, suggested her agency would target visa fraud in Minnesota. Thank God.
Thank the Lord.
That is what President Trump is doing. This is what we need to be doing in a lot of places. Now, Caroline Leavitt stated in her December 1st press brief that President Trump is trying his best to crack down on all of this fraud, but has been slowed due to constant Democratic lawsuits at every turn. Why the hell would Democrats want any of this to continue to happen? Do they not realize that this is their money too? They pay taxes too. That's their taxpayer dollars going towards Somali terror organizations. It doesn't make any sense at all. Somehow they must be profiting off this. That is the only possible explanation. I don't understand why you would ever want money going to a Somali terror organization. So the whole point that needs to be made with not just Somalis, but everyone, is that being deported under Trump is that if you do not love our country, contribute something to this country, or can assimilate with those around you, you should not be here. Along with everything else, and in light of the 2 National Guardsmen that were shot by an Afghani nationalist that happened a couple days ago, Trump has halted all visas from 12 third world countries and partially restricted 7 others, for a total of 19. Which, keep in mind, these were all already had restrictions on them. This includes, and these are the ones that are fully restricted, Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea? I think that's how you say it. I've never even heard of that place. Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. And the ones that were temporarily restricted or have partial restrictions, Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. I'm actually shocked at Venezuela. I would have fully expected them to be fully restricted. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll see. Now, the full executive order can be found on the White House website, which full descriptions of the partial restrictions are on there, etc. So you can find out for yourself what constitutes a full restriction, what is a temp restriction, what that means, so on and so forth. Now, this is my absolute favorite quote that I found while researching all this. Word for word. But when they come from hell and complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them come back from where they came from and fix it. President Donald Trump. And I have it clipped right here.
Oh dear.
Let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
I don't know why, but it is so funny to hear our president curse. It is awesome.
Hilarious.
I love it. I've heard him curse a lot recently.
Me too.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He has every reason to. Being president is a tough job.
It is.
It is stressful, it is annoying, and it pisses people off. It pisses him off, and, you know, he's got to get it out. Anyway, that is it for Media Madness.
Okay.
We'll keep you updated.
Now on to my very angry
Oh, yeah.
topic
Buckle in for this. This is going to be a wild one.
of Hurricane Helene. So, you might have seen things in the media last year about North Carolina and Tennessee getting hit with a hurricane. And it was kind of pushed under the rug. So, for Western North Carolina and East Tennessee, the worst impacts came essentially around September 26th through the 28th of 2024. Though heavy rain began a bit earlier due to preceding weather. The rainfall forecast projected 6 to 12 inches storm total rainfall across the southeast and southern Appalachians. The rainfall triggered a massive flood wave, record river crests. Some rivers exceeded floods from before 1916.
That's crazy.
And over 2,000 landslides in the Appalachians.
So there was a lot of rain.
Wind gusts inland remained significant, up to 106 miles an hour in places like Mount Mitchell, which made the damage even worse. The overall damage cost estimate from the U.S. from Helene ended up being $78.7 billion, making it among the costliest hurricanes, far above what many likely expected prior to impact. Its inland advance over the Appalachians, Helene dumped record-breaking rainfall across the mountains. In parts of western North Carolina, north of Asheville, communities saw double digits of rain over a short span. Some areas recorded over 20 inches. One remote community recorded more than 30. Now, go back and look at what the forecast was.
Forecast projects 6 to 12 inches.
So, we had no idea.
So it
What
looks
was about to
like
happen?
they had about 4 to 5 times what was expected.
Yeah, so we had no idea what was about to happen. The geography made matters so much worse. Steep slopes and narrow valleys funneled runoff into rivers and creeks, which turned into violent, very, 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 very violent torrents. As a result, water, not wind, caused most of the devastation, washing away roads, bridges, interstates,
Jeez.
homes, and reshaping entire river courses. Towns like Chimney Rock, North Carolina, and other areas were described as nearly wiped off the map. In eastern Tennessee and Irwin, Tennessee, Unicoi County, where I'm from, floodwaters from the Nolechucky River overwhelmed the town's hospital, forcing dozens of patients and staff onto the roof and requiring air rescues. It was on the news. It was a live feed of the top of the hospital. And we all just watched all these people just sitting on the top of the hospital. I'm going to show you what the top of this hospital looked like. Just a little bit of a clip. That's the top of the hospital.
Oh my God.
And all of those are people.
Jeez. That is insane.
So, infrastructure damage and lifeline failures were massive. Water systems, power, internet, cell service, communication services, roads and bridges, many remain damaged or destroyed till this day.
A year later.
A little bit of a statistic, over 250 plus people died, and 7 till this day are still missing. There is a friend of mine who worked for a towing company who ended up driving to Irwin the week after the hurricane to try to help. They were pulling cars out of trees, bodies out of trees, cars out of rivers, parts of houses out of rivers. And then it got so bad to the point that they couldn't go anywhere because the entire interstate was underwater. So they just couldn't
Yeah.
go help.
I remember when this happened, there were videos that came out of people who owned helicopters and knew how to fly. They would take their helicopters to remote places that couldn't be accessed by services yet, by emergency services, and they would airdrop these people supplies. And they would literally somehow get out to them before they came to go out into the yard and spray paint, if they had any, a big red X on a big part of their field to notify these people that they needed help and for a drop, an LZ, a landing zone. And if they needed to, they'd land, if they could, and try and get some people out of there. And some of these people were told that were flying around helping as much as they could in their own community, were told that they needed to stop because it was interfering with emergency rescues. Those rescues never came for some people. It was interesting to watch and definitely a morality issue in terms of people being forced to leave some behind, knowing that they could help, knowing that there was something that they could do, but they were being restricted.
And then I'm going to show you guys a couple videos of what it looked like.
6 months after Hurricane Helene swept through Tennessee, the healing continues, and there's still a lot of work to do. Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey joining us live as you went to East Tennessee and North Carolina several months ago to take a look at things firsthand, and I know you had a chance to speak with some leaders in that area.
Right, and so what we're hearing from Mayor Kevin Green, Mayor Kevin Morrison, he's the mayor out in Greene County. He says sometimes it still feels like it happened yesterday, but other times he feels the toll of the 6 months of building back. $125 million in public property damage. Add another $22 million on top of that. to include private property damage. And at one point, because the Nolichucky River out there was running and racing so high, all the bridges wiped out, did cut off access to 15,000 people, which that was the first part of the recovery process, getting everyone the access to the supplies they need.
So that was that.
We wanted to put together an
And here's
extended
a little
version
bit about
of this
the
story to
landslide
go more
situation that
in
we had to
depth
deal with.
with the people we interviewed and the experts, the geologists who are studying these landslides and report so far more than
2017 with Hurricane Harvey and 2018 with Hurricane Florence down east. Seeing this event here is kind of a continuation of that pattern that we've been seeing recently.
That's crazy.
So
that is insane.
on top of the fact that most of my area was borderline wiped off the map, on September 27th, 2024, so the middle of the hurricane, it was the night that everything kind of went down because it rained the day before, and overnight was when we got flooded. So we all woke up to basically living in the middle of an apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Floodwaters from Helene rapidly inundated, I can't say that word, the area around the factory of impact plastics. According to a survivor and worker witness testimony, as floodwater rose, some employees asked management if they could leave. They claimed they were not told yet if they could. Workers report that initially they were told to only move their cars away from rising water.
Yeah, if at that point, I'm not asking for permission. I'm leaving. My life is far more important than my 9 to 5. Sorry.
One worker, for example, said they should have evacuated when we got the flash flood warnings when they saw the parking lot. We asked them if we should evacuate, and they told us not yet, it wasn't bad enough.
That's crazy.
Eventually, as water overtook the parking lot and the plant lost power, some employees were dismissed. But by that time, the main road exit was already underwater. A group of at least 11 people tried to escape together by climbing onto a parked semi-trailer outside the factory, apparently hoping to ride it out or float to safety. Sadly, that truck was overwhelmed by the water and debris, and in the end, 6 people died. 5 employees and 1 contract worker after being swept away. This part makes me so pissed off. The State Workplace Safety Agency, Tennessee Occupational Safety and Health Administration, Tennessee's OSHA, concluded in April that the deaths were not work-related. They determined that Impact Plastics exercised reasonable diligence, dismissed workers that day, and that employees had time, albeit via makeshift routes,
Yep.
to evacuate. As such, OSHA issued no citations.
That's insane.
Then, July 2025, a year later, almost, the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, closed a criminal investigation into the matter, announcing that prosecutors would not file criminal charges against the company or its owner. The TBI determined there was no criminal wrongdoing.
There clearly was. People died. That alone is enough. And they died on your property. So I regardless of what it was from, they died on your property.
So you're probably thinking, well, what went wrong? Why did this turn out as bad as it did? Reports found severe staffing shortages at both the state and field levels. There was just frankly not enough manpower to support a full 24-hour disaster response across all the affected regions. Because you're talking about high mountain areas, like where my house is, that our houses were fine. But you go 15 minutes down the road and downtown is underwater. Because the agency's core funding largely depends on federal grants rather than stable state funding, their readiness and long-term resilience were described as unsustainable. The official radio network used by first responders, Viper, was overloaded. Many first responders had to rely on satellite-based systems, but those didn't arrive until days after the blackout.
Mm-hmm.
FEMA originally said that they were going to give each person $750.
It's not a lot.
$750. You know what that's going to buy me? Not shit.
It's going to buy me
A microwave.
a McNugget, a single McNugget, and a small drink at Starbucks in this economy. It's getting better thanks to Trump, but
This is after complete houses were legitimately washed down the river. After Helene, a wave of rumors and political messaging accused the Biden-Harris administration of misusing relief funds,
shocker,
diverting aid to immigrants, and withholding
Shocker.
aid from real Americans.
shocker. Who is
So
surprised?
as we're letting millions of Mexicans into this country,
Illegal Mexicans, illegal immigrants, illegal
are-
Somalis, illegal Venezuelans, all these people that you hear in the news.
You
These are the
have-
people this money's going to.
thousands of, keep in mind, blue-collar workers, because, let's be honest, that's what East Tennessee and Western North Carolina is.
Absolutely.
We are all blue-collar. We work our asses off to make what
Clearly.
little money we do make.
Yep.
You're giving us $750? Because that's going to do something.
Definitely.
So, all in all, we were failed by the media. Within days after Helene, a flood of rumors, false claims, and conspiracy theories surfaced, many via social media, about the death toll, missing persons, forced evacuations, alleged government cover-ups, and unverifiable horror stories. Do you know what was just flat out was not in the news? How can you help?
Yep.
What actually happened? Who are these people? Nothing.
Not once did I ever see anything about how I could support with relief aid, how I could donate. Nothing.
It was
Ever.
all, whose fault is it?
Yeah.
And we're literally, keep in mind, Western North Carolina and East Tennessee are still blacked out. Most of it's underwater. There are 250 people dead. And,
7 still missing.
And you were talking about,
Whose fault is it?
whose fault is it?
Look at this, look at that, look at this terrible thing, but no one cares about how they can help.
The After Action report noted that disinformation was among the biggest obstacles to recovery and rescue efforts. Many emergency managers cited bogus social media posts as seriously hindering operations and resource deployment.
Tell me how social media is hindering your operations.
I don't know.
Are your workers on their phones? is that
Well,
what's
we
happening?
didn't have electricity, so probably not.
Maybe, yeah, but the relief workers did. They probably had cell service somehow. Who
The
knows?
breakdown in communications and logistics meant many survivors, especially in remote mountainous areas, went days without reliable information, water, power, or access to rescue or relief services. This deepened human suffering, particularly among the vulnerable populations. Most of this area is low income. They're blue collar. These guys work nights. They work 48-hour shifts and they're home for 12, and then they go back and work 48-hour shifts for like $13 an hour.
Yeah.
Like that's genuinely
Bare minimum wage.
That's genuinely what my area is raised on. That, the elderly, and low income, and most of these people live in the middle of nowhere, basically. Long-term recovery has been slow and uneven. So to come to college, I have to drive through this area, like through the affected area, like the worst part of it. Part of I-26 in Irwin is, I kid you not, still one lane.
Really? That's crazy. Even a year later, and it's still you can still see the massive effects that this has had.
I'll take some
on the
pictures on my way home.
Please do. Please do.
And rebuilding of water systems, roads, bridges, and infrastructure are still ongoing. As of late 2025, now, many water system and roads are back online, but reconstruction of private roads, bridges, small business support, and full infrastructure recovery remain major tasks. And then you get on to the economic and social disruption. In Western North Carolina, the tourism hospitality industry, which is huge, a backbone of the region, was devastated. Thousands of workers lost their livelihoods. Restaurants, hotels, and businesses sustained damages, washed away, or just completely had to shut down because there's no way to get there.
Yep.
This disaster exposed how mountain and rural regions, historically considered safe from hurricanes, are increasingly vulnerable as climate change intensifies, if you believe in that. Storms are so much worse. The weatherman legitimately lied to us. And that challenges assumptions and disaster planning paradigms everywhere. But the real problem here, which I will put the link for Help WNC in the bio, because my area is still struggling and it's been a year.
Yep.
It was talked about in like the local media how, in perspective, this was Tennessee's version of Katrina. Like, it was that bad.
I fully believe that. And I've heard it be compared to Katrina. I've heard people say that it was so much worse in the sense of it was not a Florida, Georgia problem. It was a northern mountainous problem.
It's because if you think about it, like Florida, Georgia, Louisiana are like built for hurricanes.
And we got this hurricane too in Florida. I was here when it happened. I had to evacuate campus and go home. And when I came back, there was a decent amount of damage coming back, but we recovered within a couple weeks, and it was like nothing ever happened.
However, Tennessee is everything's made out of wood.
Yep.
Everything is made out of wood. So when the floodwaters came through and broke bridges in half and swept them down the Noah-Turkey River, we couldn't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're still struggling, but it's okay. We picked ourselves up by our bootstraps and did it by ourselves with no help from the federal government. Thank you, Kamala Harris and President Biden, for that one.
Yep.
We're doing it ourselves.
Thank you for absolutely nothing that you did throughout your entire presidency. You were the worst president we have ever seen in our history, and we never want you back.
We really don't.
Don't ever come back.
Tennessee and North Carolina strongly suggest that you don't run.
If you do, you will not get their votes. I can assure you that.
You can keep your $750, actually. A lot of people said in the media that that's the one type of people you don't want to piss off are the MAGA blue-collar workers.
Mm-hmm.
We legitimately, I think we recovered fast for what I thought was going to happen, which by no means has it been fast whatsoever. But when you piss off a lot of angry, young, blue-collar workers, they tend to get shit done.
Yeah.
So.
I completely agree. And again, we will leave a link to places that you can still help even a year after. And it may not seem like they need the help, but they certainly do. I promise you they do. So please do consider donating even just a small amount of money. Anything helps. Anything and everything helps.
It does.
And we pray that this money is not being laundered. God willing. God willing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode 3. It has been quite an interesting one. We have our strong opinions on certain topics, and we will continue to have our strong opinions on certain topics.
Completely unfiltered.
Completely unfiltered. Thank you for joining us. We are not going away anytime soon.
Never ever.
We will see you very, very soon. This has been The Right Approach.